Hey, you guys, I'm getting ready here. Allegedly, he did leave the island, they're saying. It's crazy, y'all. They said he left the island. He was seen. They showing a picture that's on the internet of him at a party. A fight took place. Something happened. Oh, Lord. Y'all, come on. Let's get in here. Get in here. Share, share, share. Wow. These people get down real dirty. I'll wait till a few more people come in. And we finna get to the business. You hear me? I'm hurt, y'all. When I tell you I am so hurt, bro. I got some stuff for you guys. Pool party.
Hold on, bro. They found what now? These folks.
Let's talk, you guys. Let's get in here. Woo! I'm gonna tell you, not just black people interested in this. White people is invested too, because this gotta stop. These people covering up for their rich kids and all this other stuff. Some people going to go to jail though. Hold on one second. Because who was sponsoring these kids drinking and whatever it is? Let's get down. We're gonna get down in 1 second. Let's get to the business, y'all. Guess what? Nolan did leave, allegedly left the whole island. They were seen at a party, y'all. Whew. I am agitated because this just have to stop, y'all. This young man was at the pool party the next day. The messed up party, the mama got the keys later on that night. You understand what I'm saying? These folks, boy, you could try to keep covering up. It ain't gonna work. Let's get
found who at what party at what time? Where? Nolan's Wells family attorney Benjamin Crump posted an update about 4 hours ago that completely changes this entire case. Benjamin Crump posted, listen, social media allegations.
Yes, please. Can y'all share this, please?
Claims there is a photo of Nolan at a land-based pool party in Jackson County before 1 a.m. on July 5th. Before we even get into the picture or where the picture came from or if the picture is legit or not, we have to first explain why this picture would be very crucial and important to this investigation if it's discovered that Nolan was at a pool party at 1 a.m. on July 5th. July 4th at 9:55 p.m. Pacific time, 11:55 p.m. Central, which is their local time in Mississippi, Nolan mama came to Facebook and reported him missing. So at 11:55 p.m., Nolan's parents and family couldn't get a hold of him. His friends are saying they hadn't seen him since they left the island, and Nolan was officially reported missing at 11:55 p.m. So why is there a picture of Nolan at a pool party at 1 a.m.? Y'all not thinking hard enough if you don't got the answer yet, bruh. If I'm saying, why is there a timeline of Nolan at a pool party at 1 a.m. on July 5th, but Nolan was a reported missing person at 11:55 p.m. their time, and the friends hadn't seen him, the parents hadn't seen him, the parents had went to go grab his phone by 11:55 p.m. The parents were in possession of Nolan's phone by 11:55 p.m. So ask yourself for a second, why is there now reports that Nolan was at a pool party at 1 a.m.? We are dealing with real-time COINTELPRO, the people who you believe is working in good faith, the people who you believe is giving you some amazing information. There are actual agents of chaos and people among us who are working against the mission. These are people, suspected white supremacists, probably. The agents of chaos are now working overtime once the photo came out. You see, the photo coming out done blew this shit open. The photo coming out done you cannot hide anymore. The photo already blew this case open. The photo took this from a suspected drowning to a murder. It's no buts, if murder. So now the agents of chaos, according to our process, coming in trying to muddy up the game, trying to throw in salt to make the photo look less impactful. Nah, not happening. Let's break down the real. This is the photo right here. This is who they're saying is Nolan. Now the source of the photo and what happened to the photo immediately after it went viral will shock you and is even crazier than the actual photo itself. So this is the picture of Nolan. Now, I don't recognize any of the people he.
Y'all, guess what they gonna say happened to him? I'm gonna show you the video they said happened to him at the pool party. Say he was throwing up allegedly blood. That's what they saying. But we're gonna listen to him. We're gonna get to the business. Y'all share the live, please. Please like the live this as well.
Was on a boat with, maybe this guy could be Warren. I don't know, bro. Like, I don't think so. He kind of has the same face as Warren, to be honest, but I can't call it. Y'all let me know in the comment section. I'm gonna leave this decision to you guys, okay? You guys are the game day decision makers. Is this Warren right here? I don't know. But this is supposedly Nolan at about 1 a.m. on July 5th. The person who posted a picture initially, his name is Evan Noel Ford. Now, he didn't post the picture as a standalone. He posted a picture within the mix of other pictures. So this could very well just have been a mistake. He could have very well posted this, not really understanding or seeing that Nolan was a part of it, and just posted a picture of this entire day. And then this picture got caught up in the mix. Once he realized it, you know what Evan did? Instead of Evan, I don't know, making a Instagram post, making a story post saying, hey, nah, this was an old picture. Nah, this not from the 5th. Nah. Evan began to quickly do damage control. My biggest problem with all these people is they just been moving so suspicious. So as soon as the pictures began to go viral, you know what Evan did? Evan goes, because it was posted a part of this. So it was posted a part of this carousel. Evan goes and deletes the picture from the carousel. He completely deletes it. He gets rid of it. It's no longer there. And then after he deletes the picture, he goes ahead and turns off his comments for all the other pictures. Every time we're introduced to a new character, is always something sus. They're always moving so sketchy. My thing is like, yo, if you did nothing wrong, if you're completely like innocent, if this is just a mix-up, just come out and say, oh nah, guys, yo, hey, bro, y'all got it all wrong, yo. That's from like a couple weeks ago. I was just like reminiscing about Nolan, bro. You know, like, sorry, bro. And like, I'm like, but nah. Whenever they're confronted with anything
They can't do that because they have a timestamp on the picture, y'all. So he can't say he's reminiscing on something. He's just talking out his brain right now. You can't do that when they have a timestamp on the picture. So
they just start moving so sketchy, bro. Delete the picture from the carousel. Turn off all your comments. Turn off your inbox. It's like, why y'all be moving so sus? Why y'all move so sus? Yo, y'all are like the most suspicious, sketchiest, innocent people I've ever seen in my life. If y'all innocent, why y'all be moving so sketchy? I don't understand it. But then conveniently, after the picture comes out, now all of a sudden, there's these stories of, no, it was 1 a.m. No, I don't believe Nolan was at that place at 1 a.m. That picture don't even look like 1 a.m. in the morning. This picture looked like 8, 9 p.m. to me. This don't look like 1 a.m. in the morning. Look like about 8, 9 p.m. But I think the 1 a.m. narrative was thrown out there from my perspective to throw us off. Once you throw out the 1 a.m. narrative, it starts to discredit the very picture because it can't be 1 a.m. because Nolan's parents had his phone by 11:55 p.m. Nolan was reported missing by 11:55. So it was not 1 a.m., bro. There was mass hysteria by 1 a.m. for Nolan to find Nolan. He wasn't partying by no 1 a.m. That was before 11 p.m. That was about 8-ish, 9 p.m.-ish to me. 8-ish, 9 p.m.-ish. And the reason why I think they had to throw in a 1 a.m. narrative was to get us off the track. Was because if that was Nolan at 8 p.m.-ish, 9, late 7-ish, nah, it's like 8 p.m. and like 8, 9 p.m.-ish. If that was Nolan at 8, 9 p.m., that takes away the possibility that, oh, he just drowned at the island, and then his body washed up on shore afterwards, even though his body didn't wash up on shore after a high and low cycle, a high waves and low waves. It didn't wash up on shore, but conveniently it washed up on shore on a Monday. Cut it out, bro. Right after people done searched the entire island. That would take that away, and it would almost certainly confirm Nolan was killed or murdered far after that island and then brought back to the island to make it feel like his body was discovered. Because think about it for a second. This will make sense and fall in line with everything we know. Katie said, yo, Nolan had to cut our conversation short because he said he was about to hop on a boat with the homies and head back. I think they hopped on that boat and head back. From this, if this picture is, if that's Nolan, his mama tend to think so, Benjamin Crump tend to think so, but if that's Nolan, that will confirm Nolan was alive after the island. Nolan was murdered after the island, and Nolan's body was taken back to the island to stage a drowning. And then we get like a very sus, sketchy Facebook comment from apparently one of Nolan's friends or homies who was there. Now, I'm very suspicious. I'm very sketched out about this comment. I think this is one of the agents of chaos. I think this is one of the COINTELPRO because this account is responsible for spreading the 1 a.m. thing.
Well, shut up.
It would be impossible for Nolan to have been alive at 1 a.m. It was just too much mass hysteria. That photo had to have been about 8, 9 p.m. Anybody claiming 1 a.m., I think is trying to get us off the scent. They understand that once you throw enough mud in the water and muddy it up, that we kind of start to lose track, kind of starts to second guess and question the receipts. But if that picture is Nolan, there's no question somebody's going to jail immediately. This account apparently describes a story of Nolan leaving the island, getting into an altercation with his friends, and then him being murdered and then taken back to the island. So they go, bro, no. Again, this is a reply to a comment, by the way. Bro, No didn't get into a fight at the island. It was our friend No. Well, No is Nolan. Didn't get into a fight at the island. It was our other friend. No and Wyatt did get into an altercation right after that, not even 10 minutes later, because Wyatt took his phone and Evan was trying to be hard. Nolan was definitely screaming, give me my effing phone back, Ninja, what the hell wrong with you? So they all calmed down. So that's when we heard, that's when we head to Evan's house because he was throwing a pool party. So yes, No came to the party, and yes, we was drinking, but Wyatt and Evan and Morgan and Andrew was really high. And I think they was trying to get Lucy and Natalia to try some as well. But yes, they got into it again at the pool party. It didn't end until almost 1 a.m. I know Evan mom kicked us all out once they started fighting. It was Andrew and Evan and Wyatt and Warren was basically
allegedly this boy was beaten while he was at the swim party. They had old men and older men and everything in that water, y'all. Bottom line, somebody did something to him. You know what I mean? That's crazy. Hold on, let's get to the nitty gritty. Hold on a second. Hold on one second. Let's go. Let's see what he got going on. Hold on a second.
Breaking news. We have deleted pictures and deleted messages from Nolan's Wells' so-called friends' deleted accounts. Y'all take a good look. Y'all see Nolan over there in the circle. Y'all check it out. These are deleted pictures and we have deleted messages from deleted accounts. These are screenshots from deleted accounts. I told you, what's being done in the dark shall be brought to the light. Now, what we're seeing is, and what we're going to react to is some deleted messages and deleted photos that was screenshotted before Nolan's so-called friends deactivated their accounts. And one message I seen that is being sent to Ben Crump. Believe me when I tell you, I believe Ben Crump has a lot of messages and pictures that's being sent to him. He just waiting and building up his case. Y'all know they like to take their time just so when they plead the case that it's going to be official. But before we get into these leaked messages and deleted pictures, we're going to get some commentary from TikTok, y'all. Check it out.
A reputable source has shared this photo that Nolan Wells made it back to land.
You would think that after Nolan Wells was pronounced unalive and his body was found, his friends would be putting out posts saying, rest in peace, oh my God, something. But no, everybody is dead silent. Every last person that was there has deleted their Instagram, their Facebook, their social media. Everybody's gone quiet, including the parents. Okay, y'all, including the parents, including a judge. Okay, attached to one of those kids.
Because now it makes sense. Okay, that's why they deleted Nolan Wells' Snapchat videos, because it didn't corroborate with their alibi that he never left Horn Island, because he was snapping while he was at Evan's pool party, and the dates is on there. Now it's just all making sense now. Like, Nolan is supposed to be here. He's supposed to be here. He's supposed to be back at college.
Okay, family, y'all get y'all screenshot on. Y'all see what I see. Y'all see
alcohol, y'all. Alcohol.
This is the new leaked photo that was allegedly sent to Ben Crump. And I know he looks scared, y'all. I know he looks scared, y'all. He looks scared. That's Nolan right there. That's Nolan right there. The boy got his arm around it. I don't trust that guy right there.
Look at that grown man in front of him.
Yeah, I don't trust this guy right here. I don't trust him. I don't trust him. But we're going to go ahead and continue. We're going to look at some messages as well, y'all, of someone elaborating on what had allegedly taken place that night. Check it out, y'all. Nolan's nickname is No-No, right? So it says, bro, No-No didn't get into a fight at the island. It was our other friend. No-No and Wyatt did get into an altercation right after that, not even 10 minutes later, because Wyatt took his phone and Evan was trying to be hard. Nolan was definitely screaming, "Give me my fucking phone back, ninja. What the wrong with you?" So this is them letting us know what we already knew, y'all. So they all calmed down. So that's when we head to Evan's house because he was throwing a pool party. So yes, Nono came to the party, and yes, we was drinking. But Wyatt and Evan and Morgan and Andrew was really hot. Oh my gosh. It's coming out, y'all. And I think they was trying to get Lucy and Natalia to try some as well. But yeah, what was they trying to try? This correlates with what the friend was saying when he was being interviewed by TMZ. Remember the substances that he was talking about. But yes, they got into it again at the pool party. It didn't end until almost 1 a.m. I know Evan's mom kicked us all out. Once they started fighting, it was Andrew and Evan and Wyatt and Warren was basically recording and laughing, saying, "Get him, get him." And all I could hear was Nono screaming, "Mom." So yeah, he was screaming, "Mom," while the boys was recording and laughing. They phones need to be confiscated. This is what I mean.
Crazy.
These sheriffs and shit that's out there in Mississippi, they taking their damn time. So you got Nolan up here screaming and shit while everybody recording. This shit is making me mad. So yes, I tried helping. Then his mom come out screaming, yelling, "Drunk, make us leave," and was saying she was going to call the cops on us if we didn't leave her house. But they didn't let Nono leave. And Nono was by the basketball goal that was inside the pool. He was leaning over beside it and gasping for air and spitting up. Oh my God. But now his mom know I just got off the phone with her. So they just relayed this information over to the mother, y'all. So come to find out, there was something going on, and Nolan did get into it, and it wasn't at that island, y'all. Y'all make sure y'all screenshot this, share it, make sure you hype this video up, because the louder we are, the more these people, whoever have any information leading to whoever was involved in this, I'm telling you, they gonna get scared enough. All we do is gotta keep posting, keep reporting. They gonna get afraid and reveal everything. Now is the time. You know how they say we got big mouths? Now is the time to unleash our big ass mouth. Here's another one, y'all. Y'all make sure y'all screenshotting this stuff if you're not on social media. That guy, Evan, deleted that one pic with Nolan in it. It was on Threads for a minute before he finally deleted it. I sent this to Attorney Crump. Since y'all keep typing and not sending to who needs to see it, why did you delete this, Evan? So it was Evan who got the information in his phone or his social media, and he's deleting every damn thing. So-called friend. Y'all see it? Somebody said, if this is true, the kids done started chirping. They're leaking messages and pictures of a pool party that took place after the island, which what we just saw, y'all. So this is the other message, said, LOL. Obviously I did. That's how they got his phone, because I called, LOL. And I don't think they need to be writing LOL if Nolan was your friend. Y'all are too...
They saying LOL because this is a pattern of behavior. These children are used to doing pretty much whatever they want, and their parents cleaning up their mess. But I'm gonna tell y'all, they have celebs involved, paying for the funeral, paying for autopsies, paying for whatever. They said water didn't even get in his lungs, y'all. That's crazy. That
joyful in a moment like this. The whole world is talking about this. LOL, and his phone, and it's cut off right there, y'all, so bear with me, was on top of his Xbox. That's why they requested him to have a private autopsy. LOL, why the... Oh my God, I was about to curse. Why in the hell they keep writing LOL? That goes to show you, y'all, these people don't have no compassion. Children, it's not in them. Once they came, the house, Evan and Warren had deleted everything, including the video Nono posted that night, and I showed them the pic of all them at the pool party that night. So there y'all have it. We all know that these are fake friends. I want to tell y'all.
That's letting y'all know he did not stay on the island. That's letting y'all know that these people will go to any measures to hide and lie for their children, but yet they want black people to say, oh, you need to discipline your kids. No, it's time for them to discipline their kids.
Please pray that justice gets served, y'all. These people cannot keep getting away with this, y'all. But I hope y'all screenshotted this. Whenever you see something on social media, please screenshot it and share it to the best of your ability. They sold these.
I'm not gonna lie, y'all. I gotta listen to that shit again. He got me hyped. He got me so hyped, y'all. I gotta listen to this.
Me mad. So yes, I tried helping. Then his mom come out screaming, yelling.
Hold on one second.
Breaking news. We have deleted pictures and deleted messages from Nolan's Wells' so-called friends' deleted accounts.
I gotta listen to this again.
Y'all take a good look. Y'all see Nolan over there in the circle. Y'all check it out. These are deleted pictures, and we have deleted messages from deleted accounts.
And y'all see the
These are
alcohol
screenshots from
the
deleted accounts. I told you, what's being done in the dark shall be brought to the light. Now, what we're seeing is, and what we're going to react to is some deleted messages and deleted photos that were screenshotted before Nolan's so-called friends deactivated their accounts. And one message I seen that
I'm not gonna get on there. I'm not gonna do it again. I'm not gonna do it again. I'm so mad, y'all, on everything. Oh, Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy, y'all. Everything. Oh, Lord have mercy. Oh, Lord, I'm putting my own stream up. I'm sorry, y'all. Hold on one second. I'm hurt. I'm not gonna lie. I'm so hurt. Let's talk to these people. I mean, talk to people. Let's listen to these folks. These are the attorneys, y'all.
I want to tap in and talk to y'all real quick about the Carmelo Anthony appeal, the motion for new trial and the motion to recuse the judge
we don't want
that was filed.
I don't want to look at that just yet. I want to look at the new evidence right fast, y'all. Hold on a second.
Me mad. So yes, I tried helping. Then his mom come out screaming, yelling, drunk, make us leave.
Okay, let's go here. I don't know this guy, but I'm finna see who he is. Photo release as the photo release.
Yes, indeed. Two-fer Sunday. You know?
Won't
a
he
double
do
feature Sunday. We got some things we got to talk about. Have mercy. CC just said CCX smooth. Just said, yeah, I was waiting for you to come on and talk about this, man. I was waiting for you to talk about this thing. Here's the thing. Yeah, I agree. It's hard to trust anything anymore because people are out here. There's so many trolls. There's so many little douchebag dirtbags out here that'll use AI just to throw people off, just to make things up, to have clout, to stir the pot a little bit. You know, there's those little ish disturbers. You know, those little peons, those little pieces of trash.
Ooh, get to the
that
damn
just do
point.
things because they think it's just funny and it's a lot of fun to throw things off. Think about the Nancy Guthrie case, right? There's been plenty of people. Video that I did before I got my ass back here to give you guys this news live. Okay, this could very well be AI slop, but it could also be real. Hold on.
Oh, dude, you know.
Me mad. So yes, I tried helping. Then his mom come out screaming, yelling, drunk, make us leave. And was saying,
first and foremost, the attorney released this publicly. So no one released anything. The attorney released it, and now the children are chirping. I like people just be, I don't know. I wouldn't even be going live talking about this if I didn't think that something was real about it. You know what I mean? Like these people are like the attorney. I don't think he would put it out. You know what I mean? If it wasn't real, That's what I think. You know what I mean? And obviously, the girl called the boy's name, who turned off all his comments and deleted it, because obviously it was, you know, why is all this on here? They got some March bullshit. It's annoying. They are annoying. They're annoying. They're annoying. Annoying. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's go here. Willie D. I think his name Willie.
Make us leave, and was saying she was going to call the cops on us if we.
Hold on.
Willie D Live.
Yes, Willie D Live.
What's up, family? Well, what do we have here? What's done in the dark will come to light. Yeah, fam. There is new speculation that Nolan Wells made it back to land on that fateful night.
I know you made
he
back to
came
land.
up missing. Yeah, fam. Ben Crump, attorney Ben Crump, who has been retained by Nolan's family to try to get to the bottom of what happened, posted on his social media a photo of what appeared to be Nolan Wells. At least this is what they're saying. They're saying that guy in the circle in the middle there is Nolan Wells. That's Nolan Wells. And it is possible that his killer is inside of that pool.
Dang.
One of those people inside of that pool, it is possible, is his killer. Yeah. So check this out, family. This is a message that was posted on social media by, and I'm going to try to say her name as best I can, Alicia Spencer. Bro, No didn't get into a fight at the island. It was our friend No and Wyatt did get into an altercation right after that, not even 10 minutes later, because Wyatt took his phone and Evan was trying to be hard. Nolan definitely screaming, "Give me my effing phone back, NIGGA. What's wrong? What the hell is wrong with you?" So they all calmed down. So that's when we head to Evan's house because he was throwing a pool party. So yes, No came to the party, and yes, we was drinking, but Wyatt and Evan and Morgan and Andrew was really high. And I think they was trying to get Lucy and Natalia to try some as well. But yes, they got into it again at the pool party. It didn't end until almost 1 a.m. I know Evan's mom kicked us all out once they started fighting. It was Andrew and Evan and Wyatt, and Warren was basically recording and laughing, saying, "Get him, get him." And all I could hear was No screaming, "Mom." So yes, I tried helping. Then his mom come out screaming, yelling, drunk, "Make us leave," and was saying she was going to call the cops on us if we didn't leave her house. But they didn't let No leave. And No, by the basketball goal, that was inside the pool. No was by the basketball goal that was inside the pool. He was leaning over beside it, gasping for air and spitting up blood. But now his mom know. I just got off the phone with her. So I guess she's talking about Nolan's mom. Now his mom know. Okay, so according to this young woman, Nolan made it back to land. He went to a pool party. And this.
But you know what's sad, John? The person who let him stay at her house and didn't let her leave after he got jumped, allegedly, didn't say anything public yet. Or she may be talking to the cops. I don't know. But the parents went to one of those little speeches, whatever you call those. I can't remember. Is on the top of my head. But went to a press conference. I'm sorry. They mentioned none of that. You know what I mean? That this lady's still clueless on the last whereabouts of her son, and he was allegedly at a pool party. That's crazy.
This is where they took care of him. And this would explain why they was cleaning that boat. Perhaps they transported his body some kind of way with the boat, went out there and dropped the body, and then got on up out of there. Who cleans a boat in the middle of the night after you just got through having fun? You've been drinking, you're having a blast. Who cleans a pool? Who has the presence of mind to clean a pool? I mean, not a pool, but a boat. Who has the presence of mind to clean a boat? After you go boating on the same night in the wee hours of the morning. Mm-hmm. They were allegedly caught cleaning the pool. I mean, cleaning the boat.
All right.
How does that happen? Why does that happen? I absolutely believe this story that this young lady is telling, because why make something up that elaborate? It sounds very plausible to me. And it is consistent with that type of behavior. So it looks like Nolan's friends did kill him after all. That's what it looks like. Looks like his friends killed him.
Damn.
Looks like his friends killed him and tried to pull a fast one on us. They pulled the old bait and switch. They're like, hold on. Let's hit him with the reverse Uno. We was out on the boat. He was boating and everything, so we can just take him back over there, drop him off.
I keep telling everybody, drowning someone, hanging someone, you cannot trace those two things. You can't. And I hate to say it, you just can't. There's a lot of people around here getting hung. They are saying suicide because they don't want to get involved too much. Because even if they get leads, you have to prove that that person was there. And you have to have pictures and all this other stuff. You can have speculation, but it's like hard to prove, right? So water and trees, and this is what they've been doing across the United States for the last couple of months. And it's crazy, y'all. Whatever happened to him, wherever he was at, or whatever he took, or if he took something, or they laced him with something, whatever reaction he had from it, they had to get rid of it. And the lady house he was in, all of them need to go to jail if this is true.
And then we'll say he took off and, we didn't see him. Last time we saw him, he was getting on another boat. We know if he left that party, or that party was over at 1 a.m., that pool party was over at 1 a.m. We know that. Nolan's body was discovered.
They claim in the text that he didn't leave. The lady didn't make him leave, unless his friends came back and got him when they calmed down or whatever happened.
Just 24 hours later, just a little bit over 24 hours later, his body was discovered on the island. Family, the authorities have already started helping them cover this up. Once the authorities make up their mind that they're not going to solve the case, they're not going to solve the case. It would take an outside law enforcement entity, for example, the FBI, to come in and investigate and get down to the bottom of it. That's not going to happen with this administration. This administration has made it very, very clear, abundantly clear, that they do not value Black life. So do not look forward to these dudes who are in office right now putting the FBI on this case and solving the case. Oh, they'll go in like they're doing something, yeah. But I'm talking about going in and resolving this case, like bringing people in, questioning. That's all they really got to do if they really want. And I'm sure they're doing that. As I said, they don't like competition. They want to know who the killers are in their communities. So, and they just want to know who the killers are, just so they can know, so they can have something on the killers, just in case they need to pull a file down the line. Yo, remember that Nolan Wells case? We know what really happened, right? So you might want to cooperate with us right now in this particular case. Or you might want to just look the other way while I handle my business with your mama or your daughter or your girlfriend. You might want to look the other way and bite down on the pillow as I have my way with you. The cover-up has already started, fam. The cover-up started when the police came and said, I don't suspect foul play. There are too many inconsistencies. They're saying now that Nolan was jumped, beat up. They beat him up. That's what they're saying. He was beaten. Now, we ain't gonna really know what that looks like until the autopsy comes back. And from what I understand, there's an independent autopsy being conducted, financed by Colin Kaepernick's nonprofit. So that's a good thing that it's independent, because you absolutely cannot trust one coroner in the state of Mississippi. I wouldn't. I absolutely wouldn't. Mississippi? Man, Mississippi is proud of being backwards. Mississippi is proud of having outlaws. They're proud of their corruption. They don't even try to hide it. There ain't no way I would count on law enforcement in Mississippi giving me justice. They do not do anything to give Black people relief, justice, fairness. Black people? Hell no. They are there to catch you, to give you hell and charge you rent and make sure that you face obstacle after obstacle after obstacle. That's why if you do find a person in Mississippi who is progressive, who's getting money, who is prominent, they're either one or two ways. They're either a coon or they just a bad mother, shut your mouth. And all you Mississippians out there, you know I'm telling the truth. If you find a prominent Black Mississippian, they're either going to be a straight up coon, a Sambo, or they just going to be a bad shut your mouth. And to those out there in Mississippi who fit the latter, man, I salute you, because I know what you, I don't really know all the way, but I can only imagine what you have to go through. From law enforcement to the courts, to the permits departments, to survey departments, to the HOAs. I know, man. I know, because I know how they set up. I know how it's rigged. I know how it's set up. This is a cold-blooded.
I want to be 1000% clear. The sole reason why I am covering this new development in the Nolan Wells case is because the lead attorney, Benjamin Crump, just posted about it on his Instagram. And the latest development is that Nolan Wells was alive July the 5th, and he did return from Horn Island. And not only has attorney Benjamin Crump been posting this in his feed, he has also been reposting it in his stories. I am going to walk you through a timeline over the past 24 hours, starting with multiple emails I received with this latest development. Then I'm going to play a video for you that gives you detailed information about this new development. We're going to go over the timeline. We're going to go over what this means in the case. And then I'm going to tell you what Nolan Wells' mom has to say about this latest development. Sit back, relax. I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about the most shocking development since this case started. And then I'll hand it off to you, the out louder. So let me know what you think in a comment.
Okay, you guys, please like the live. Please share it. Thank you.
Section below. My morning started off with a ton of emails with the screenshot you'll see here right beside me. The screenshot right beside me that I will not read in detail basically states that Nolan Xavier Wells did in fact return from Horn Island, and he attended a party, and he was alive July the 5th up until at least 3 a.m. And it is then when he got into a confrontation, and it's there where he passed away, and then they brought his body back to the water. Now, the reason why I was a little bit hesitant in the morning is because I get emails every day about different stories and developing stories about stories that I'm covering. And it's my job to make sure that I sift through them to make sure that I'm giving you guys accurate information. That is my job. So when you click on this channel, you know you're getting accurate information. As time went on, I saw a few people talking about this on Instagram. Some pages that were not so reputable, smaller pages, and I didn't think too much of it. But like I said at the top of the video, when I saw attorney Benjamin Crump post about it, that is when, to me, this story got a lot more solidified. Now, I'll be 100% honest with you. I'm not 100% convinced, and I'll show you in a minute why, because of the caption that attorney Benjamin Crump put once he posted this picture. But let me get to this. Let me tell you a little bit more about the development of the story. I'm not going to read the full thing, but I'm going to put two more screenshots, and then I'm going to play a video, and then we'll get into the details of what the caption said with attorney Benjamin Crump. Let's go to the next picture. Now, for those of you who want to read the details of this, feel free to pause and read the details. I will not lend my voice to this until it is 1,000,000% confirmed. Like I said, we're trusting Benjamin Crump. And here is the third screenshot. Like I said, it's basically saying he came back, he was at this party, and the picture that I showed you at the top of this video was him in the pool with his friends. Now, let's get to the video that summarizes all of this. Take a listen.
So allegedly, Nolan did leave the island, and he went back to Wyatt's house for a pool party. And during that pool party, there was an altercation between Wyatt, Nolan, Evan, and somebody else. And apparently they beat Nolan to death with some sort of bar or pole. There are people that are putting out witness statements stating that they were there and they saw Nolan spitting up blood, and that these boys it on Nolan. They are saying that Evan's mother knew about the whole thing. And allegedly, they took Nolan's body back to the water. They're saying that this is the reason why it pinged on land at that house before they found that phone. This is why that boy told his daddy that Nolan was like a brother to me. Was like a brother to me when he showed up to get his car. It's because they already knew he was gone. Is this the reason why they needed dental records? Because he was unrecognizable? This case is starting to bust wide open. And we all knew that something else happened to Nolan. Now the question is, which of the parents helped those kids?
Now you'll see I have the picture in question zoomed in here beside me on my screen. You'll see at the top corner here that there's, I don't know, almost looks like where you would step out of the pool. Nobody knows why this is circled. Nobody knows what that is, but you'll see on the other side, there is where the basketball net is.
Because he screenshotted it, y'all. Those, they have clear pictures of it, go to the internet. Those are alcohol substance on side of the pool. That's what that is circled for. It's alcohol. He obviously screenshotted it from someone else's, or this right here is just circulating whatever, but there's a clean picture of alcohol on side of the pool where all these children are at, where young people are at.
That is what she's talking about. A couple of other things to note is in the 3 Facebook screenshots that I just showed you, it never says Nolan. It says No, N-O-N-O. It could be a nickname for Nolan. I have seen some things online that says that Javon has come out and said that this Facebook post is not about Nolan. But for those who watched my video yesterday, y'all know that like this whole Javon interview with TMZ is a little bit weird. So I don't know how much I trust Javon. That's one thing. We're going to get to the dental records in a second. For those who've been following me for the past week, you know about that conspiracy theory.
And you guys know, right? Why would they need his dental records to recognize him? Like, he's only been in the water like 2 days. Like, why would they need dental records? I'm confused on that. Like, that's the biggest thing. Like, they must, I don't even know. I don't even want to say.
Theory of the fact that there is alleged that on Monday when Nolan's body was discovered, he wasn't able to be identified right away and they needed dental records. I played that for you, which is the first conspiracy theory I talked about. I hate talking about conspiracy theories. But in that video, I also showed you a fact that Attorney Benjamin Crump said that Nolan's mom didn't identify the body. And if you guys remember, on Monday when the body was discovered, it was 3 or 4 hours before we found out that it was Nolan. It was, the headlines were, there was a body that found, we don't know who it is. 3 or 4 hours later, it was identified, but it wasn't identified by his mom. We don't know who it was identified with. So this story could be true. That was the one thing where I was like, maybe it might be true. Because if you're just on the island and you're swimming off and you drown, you'd be able to be identified. If this story is true, which what Attorney Benjamin Crump just reposted and people are talking about, it would make sense that you would need to identify him with medical records if he got beat up by 4 people. Okay. I'll talk about more of that in a second. Now, I want to show you guys what was the caption under this picture from Attorney Benjamin Crump. That kind of makes me go, You'll see here, Attorney Crump, and it says repost from, I'm not going to give this person any shout out, but by the way, this person has under 1,000 followers on Instagram, and no shame to anybody who has 2 followers or 2 million followers. All I'm just saying, it's not coming from CNN, ABC, NBC, or even like, as I say, like somebody from new media like myself, who is reputable, have gone through Diddy trials, Ashley Janae, who I have proven my credibility on this internet here. I haven't seen any sort of credibility from this person, so I'm scratching them off. Now, the repost is not Attorney Benjamin Crump saying anything. He just reposted what this person said. Nolan Wells investigation update. The streets are talking. Now, listen, I don't know if these are facts or rumors because no official statement has been confirmed. We sometimes have to follow all clues until the truth is found. Here is what was discovered on social media last night. Social media allegedly claims a photo existing of Nolan at a land-based pool party in Jackson County before 1 a.m. July the 5th. Now, we all know the story that the boys say they didn't see him after what? I think 3 or 4:30, or they didn't see him after July the 4th at 3 o'clock. They left at 4:30. Katie said last time she saw him was on the island, but then there's a pool party at 1 o'clock. And this now a week later, we're hearing about it. And now Attorney Crump is posting saying he doesn't know if this is fact or fiction. So if you're the lead attorney in conducting the investigation, why are you reposting this, sir? But who am I to tell the Nolan family who to trust? You hire Attorney Benjamin Crump, and I have worked with Attorney Benjamin Crump. I've told you guys that with my Nike case a couple of years ago when I was suing Nike, and they are a very, very thorough office. I mean, I don't have to tell you about Attorney Crump, George Floyd, etc. He's been around for years. So regardless of my experience with them and his history, I still question the fact of why he would post something and leave in the caption, we don't know if it's fact or rumors, but maybe he's just saying, hey, we don't know if it's fact or rumors and we need to explore everything. Maybe that is the case. I don't know. Now, here's a timeline that is circulating online. If the pool party ended at 1 a.m. at Evan's house, why call the Coast Guard at 11 p.m.? What time did Nolan's mom pick up the phone and from which friend's house? Now, I don't know if we know the time yet, but we know that Nolan's mom didn't pick up the phone from the Good Morning America interview. She said she sent her friend. And I don't know if she gave a date, but I'm going to assume that we all know that most people thought he went missing July the 4th. So I'm going to assume that she got back the phone July the 4th. That's what I'm assuming. She didn't say the date on her Good Morning America interview, but that's what I would assume. But if there's a party at 1 a.m., then maybe she picked up a phone.
She did say, hold on a second. The mother did say the next day they couldn't go out to look for him. Someone gave them a boat. After the boat, they went and her friend, his best friend's mom, went to the boy house to get the phone. So the mother didn't even get the phone from them. It was the friend, allegedly, who got the phone. The best friend's mom, because they were helping them. And the coach brought them out with the boat to look for him. So my thing is, all of them knew. That's why it was a willing thing to take her back out. Why didn't where he was living with? Why they had the boat? My question is why they had the boat and they didn't say let's go back out there and search for him. Why she had to wait until the next day to go search for her child? That's insane. Then they said they had people that stayed back, so there is no reason why he should have been strained. This is just a bunch of bullshit.
July the 5th in the night. I don't know. If the party ended at 1 a.m. and they were cleaning the boat at 3 a.m., this means they had 2 hours to get rid of the body. How long does it take to get out to the boat launch and get to Horn Island and back? Legitimate question. Okay, here you'll see the person that first posted this picture, and now it has since been deleted. But you'll see here the timestamp that it was posted July the 5th at 2:53 a.m. Okay. Now, underneath this post, there's this caption. Nolan Wells was alive on July the 5th, 2026 at 2:53 a.m. Based on a social media post attributed to one of Nolan Wells' lying friend, Nolan appears to have been alive at approximately 2:53 a.m. July the 5th, 2006. Nolan's father retrieved his keys from a female who was at the pool party, an account his father later discussed during an interview with Roland Martin. Okay, so that's a little bit off there. Nolan's father first said that at the press conference, the Al Sharpton press conference, he didn't receive the keys from a girl. He received it from Jax. Where the girl comes in is that Jax first lied and said, I don't have Nolan's keys. And then there was a girl that called in, or a girl that somebody knew, that was like, hey, tell Nolan's dad to tell Jax that
I will tell y'all this case is all over the place. And you have people who are not really researching and really listening to the parents, because I listened to the parents and I understood that the friend got the phone for them and they were on the phone with them going back and forth because the boy tried to pretend like he didn't have it or whatnot, and they were trying to get the keys, they were trying to get all type of things from these people, and it was a third party helping them do everything they were doing, which kudos to those people. You know what I mean? I just think a lot of them are lying. A lot of them, they know what actually happened. These boys went too far. Obviously, I think, listen, I'm gonna keep it a book. No child, I don't care if he's black or white, will get off the boat and say, "I'll stay." And then without his phone, just think about it. He will stay without his phone. They took the phone to delete everything they needed to delete, but like these people have secret databases that they can go into to retrieve pictures and stuff. They so dumb. And guess what? He should have a Google account or Apple account where stuff is saved or storage. That's crazy. I gotta
to know everything, what happened today,
Just all
and everything,
details.
all details.
As I watched the press conference today, you guys gave some details that were a bit surprising to me. That
John, can you hear us?
Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you. Yeah, we can hear. Can you hear us? We can't hear. Okay. Audio problems, which will not probably fix unless they go out and come back in. So we'll get back to them because they need to go get out and come back in, because that's always the case. In the meantime, I want to play a little bit of the press conference as we get them back. Roll it, Andy.
Do him, and whenever you feel like you're in a bind or having some kind of problem, call on your brother, talk to your brother. My twins, the loss of a younger sibling is hurting them. They have to figure out how to navigate through life without them. And my daughter Carly, with her being away, it's really hard for her because she's not around family now. So she's out on her own, doing life and doing what life does, but she's doing it on her own. So she has to do this by herself. We're here, by phone, but we're not there in person. So she really has to draw on the people that's around her when she's not home. So all together, my family, this is going to be our new norm. He was the jester in my court, and yeah, he will be missed greatly, not by us, but by the whole community.
We will announce the funeral services when it is finalized, and we'll be going to help I will officiate at the funeral in Mississippi. Again, we'll take your questions, but identify who you are, and please be respectful. The families in mourning, but because they want justice for their son, they came to New York to make this appeal. But let's not make this a circus. Yes.
Christine, there's not from New York Post. First of all, I just want to say I have a couple of questions. When was the last time you heard from Nolan? What did he say? Was there a call or a text? What was said during that last interaction? And also, how do you know that it's Nolan saying, give me my phone? What are you doing in that video?
Say that last question.
How do you know that it's Nolan saying, give me my phone? What are you doing in that video?
Yeah. Well, you were the second one is other children who are saying it was Nolan. Yeah.
So the last time we spoke and saw Nolan was July the 3rd. He actually cooked dinner for me, actually for us, because I had gotten off work. It's been really busy. And so he cooked dinner. It was salmon. He baked it. So proud. And then after that, he was just like, "Hey, Mom, I'm about to go." The family joins
us again, and she said he was so proud of the salmon that he made for her. Sorry about the technical difficulties, but it happens. Let me ask you this as we're going through this. So one of the things I was wondering about, and I have to tell you, Miss Christine, my mom has so many questions for you because my mom has lost 2 children, and so this is really this touches our family in a way that I don't think many families can understand. She wants to know, where was the young lady that he was supposed to stay with, and has anyone spoken to her? And what is she saying?
I'm not sure. She actually reached out to me the very next day, I think July the 5th, and basically just made it seem like it was like a hey bye type of situation. That was not his girlfriend, because I've been seeing that online. Nolan actually did not have a girlfriend that we were aware of. Normally, if it were to be someone he was very interested in, he would have brought that person home. This was just, I guess, someone he met out there. And yeah, she was just made it seem like, you know, it was a, hey, nice to meet you. Okay, bye. I'm going back to my boat type of deal. And that was it.
Mr. Wansley, when you went to retrieve the phone, you went to retrieve the keys, right?
Yes.
And what was that like? Were they cooperative? What was that like?
They appeared to be cooperative. When I went to get the keys initially, I asked the guy, Jax, could he go get the keys because I was there to get my son's car. And he was like, I don't know where the keys at. Nolan was like my brother. I said, well, if Nolan was like your brother, I'm his father. I'm here to get his car. Could you go to your room and see if you can find his keys? So he goes off and comes back a few minutes later saying he can't find the keys. So at that point, I get the other guys that were there looking for Nolan. I get them out of the house because I didn't want them to go in these people's house and do nothing. And that ended up being a whole nother ordeal. So we go back out to the car. One of the guys that I got out the house with me, he was on the phone with a girl who was apparently there earlier and said that Nolan's keys were on top of the Xbox in Jack's room. So he went back to the door and told him that the girl said his keys were on top of your Xbox. So 5 minutes later, he comes out with the keys. So now I feel like you just sat there and lied to me, or you still just half looked and didn't take my kind acts genuinely. And like I said, it just kind of it turned my spirit, because like now, like I said, you done lied to me, so I can't trust anything you tell me.
And Don, can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
Christine said a similar thing when they went to retrieve the phone, that it took forever.
Yeah, so my friend actually, she went to retrieve the phone, and it took her a bit to get the phone to her.
Breaking up.
So basically, one of the young girls that was helping with it.
Supposed to be friends.
It's certainly concerning.
One of those lean into my faith, or let the anger and the hurt take over,
and not have a way back to the mainland. It's not in his character. We didn't raise Nolan like that. If you leave with someone, you come back with someone. Never break away from the group. And we drilled that into him. And we can't believe that he would have made that decision. We can't. Wow.
Miss Christine, do you want to say something about that?
I mean, he explained it perfectly. Those were conversations we've had with Nolan, not just Nolan, but all of our children. And really just kind of, try to drill that into them. And two, we try to lead by example. So that's just like anytime they've had, football practices, basketball, whatever, if any of their friends needed rides, we would sit there. If their parents hadn't made it home, and they didn't have a key, okay, well, cool. We'll sit here in your driveway until your parent gets home. When anyone else's child is in our care, we're going to treat them just like they're our child. We're going to make sure that they get to where they need safely. And so it's just, I guess it's to a point, not everyone is like that, but that's how our family is. And we've always been that way.
When you spoke in the press conference about standing, how your introduction to Ben, you felt it was a sign, and then a conversation that you had with yourself as you were standing there waiting to find out, I hate to be, find out if that was your son. And you said, I'm not a religious person, but you're spiritual. Is that can you take us back to that moment and then tell us, is that what's guiding you now? Because as I said in the beginning, I'm just in awe of your strength and your courage.
So, I was absolutely hoping for the best. But I don't know, there's that like mom gut, I guess. And so my brain switched to, okay, what if this doesn't turn out the way you all want it to? What if he doesn't come back home? What if something has happened? And so then it's, okay, now I have to make sure that I am, one, taking care of myself emotionally, spiritually, but then two, I can't get angry that quickly. Like, I am a very logical person. I'm analytical. Like, I want to know the facts, and that's it. And so in that, I was just like, I can't be rushed to judge anything. And hence is again why we've made no public statements really, given our opinions about anything, because we don't have anything to give just yet. You know, the full details are not out. And so in that moment, it was either one of those, lean into my faith or let the anger and the hurt take over. And so I chose my faith.
Now, look, I'm a pretty logical person too, but you know, I have my moments. You have your moments, right?
Definitely.
Something is amiss.
Absolutely.
If you were, go ahead, because I was going to say, if something wasn't amiss, you wouldn't be sitting next to Ben Crump.
Definitely. You know, and that's a concern, which again, that was just part of that prayer, because I wasn't sure. You know, if it was accidental, you know, hey, but just there's too many inconsistencies. And at the end of the day, like I've said over and over today, we just want answers. And I don't think that's a hard ask. And again, any parent should be asking for that if something has happened to their child or someone they loved. Like, you know, that's just human nature. I would expect that.
It sounds like, Mr. Elmore, that you and Nolan was more than dad and son. It sounds like you were friends from what I've heard. It sounds like you were good friends. And I'm sitting here, I'm looking at your face, and I know you're thinking, I'm the man, and this, I got to be strong, but, you know, this ain't easy.
I have my moments, but I try to isolate them from everyone else, because if I feel like if I break down, then everyone else is gonna break down, and I have to be the one there to console and pick up the pieces for my family. But I do have my moments. I think about our talks, things that we used to do together.
His jokes,
his
jokes,
antics, coming into my room, waking me up, walking by trying to sneak towels and stuff. And I catch him, and then he'll stop like he'll a statue or something, like, boy, I see you in the dark. What are you doing? And
or just coming in the room at 10 when we're asleep, like, hey, what you guys doing?
Yeah,
sir, we have to go to work in the morning.
But I've been put on a very good facade, because when
you guys, this is so effing sad. Lord have mercy. This is so sad, y'all. So effing sad. Like, this is so effing sad. And people don't have the, like, I get it, you're in the streets, whatever it is. But when you're a good kid, trying to go to college, trying to do the best you could do, and you have these barbarian MFers, this aside, it's your day. Come from good parents, or not even them say good parents, come from people that have something. You know what I mean? And you just mess up like that. They clean. If this happened, y'all, they cleaned up the scene. They moved the body. A lot of people gonna go to jail behind this shit. A lot of people gonna go to jail behind this ish. I just don't know where we're gonna go from. The last couple of months has been, I don't even know what to say. And I wish these them dudes that in there, the more purple t-shirts stop marching in the heat. Nobody's marching no more. Nobody's gonna do that. I don't know. But I know this is so sad, y'all. Just imagine. Like I watched my mom get killed when I was 10. I know they finna go through something. It's finna be hard for him, right? When you when it really kicks in is when they get to when they bury him. And there's no more, like there's no coming back. There's no waking me up, like he said, wake him up with jokes and all type of stuff. You know what I mean? That board you can never get rid of, no matter what. You know, like I lost my mom at 10, then I lost my my daughter's father a month before I had her. Like those boys just can never be challenged, no matter what relationship you get in. You know what I mean? I feel for these parents behind some stupid adolescent teenagers full of whatever they were full of that caused them to do and react the way that they react towards this kid that really was going to be D1, had his whole life ahead of him. Y'all, these kids are just, hey, listen, it's not all white people. I will say that because white people are is so mad about this, right? But my thing between him, Carmela Anthony, I seen a few other people on the fourth drown just as well. A young man, they say he cramped. Yeah, black people don't get in lakes and rivers and shit like that. Like I don't understand. These people get hung from a tree. It's out of the blue. Had no issues, no mental issues, no nothing. They just go and hang themselves. Like we really, y'all, like we real deal have to figure out what the hell. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like this is, I don't know. It's sad though. I'm hearing this man. I'm hearing the pain through his voice. I'm hearing the pain, and we're fighting for him. We're fighting for him through the internet. We're fighting, talking about it. We making mainstream media talk about it. This has to happen more. It just have to happen more. Look, my TikTok. Oh my God, so many racist comments, which I don't care. I don't care. You know, I get threats and everything else. That's why I'm coming to stream so we can, build my base like that. You know what I mean? People, everybody's gonna be happy for what you have to say to them. So it's all good. But I hear in this man's voice, his life will forever change. No parent wants to bury their child. Their child should be burying them. Now I will listen, y'all, on everything. If someone hurts my child, I know I'm a bury. God, God, knock on wood, nothing. My gods, my ancestors, nothing. Whatever happened, knock on wood. If I cry and be miserable as an adult, having nurturing my children, love my kids more than myself, they gotta cry too. See what? I'm so sorry. I have to say this, y'all, and I'm not trying to, like cause whatever. Just don't mess with my kids. That's all I'm saying. Because if I'm hurting, you gotta hurt too. And I'm willing to go sit behind a cell. I'm willing to whatever it is. This gotta stop. How do we make this stop? Black people just want to be left alone. We just want to have fun. We want to joke. We want to make our money. That's it. And then it's the youngest kids, they not even beginning to make their grandkids or their life because someone is angry. This is happening over and over and over and over again. But we finna go to stream. I'm finna get off in a minute, but we gotta finish listening to these parents.
Nah, when I have my moments, like I say, I isolate myself, and you know, I do what I need to do. I collect myself, and then I get back to the job at hand, which is consoling my family.
And tell me about. Hang on, Ben. If you give me 1 second, I just want to finish up here with this.
Please, I love about football and their bond together.
That's what I was going to ask you, Ben. You're reading my mind, because I was going to say, tell me more about your relationship, because I was so heartened to hear that. I'm just going to be honest, because you hear this, folks saying the Black fathers aren't there, and they aren't present. And as I watch you on Good Morning America, and I said, damn, this man was involved in every aspect, and you were trying to teach him about playing sports. It's not just about playing sports. It's also a business, right?
Yes.
It's also your livelihood. So you were trying to, make him man up.
Yes.
You're speaking to Michael Strahan. You're trying to get him to man up and be a respectful young man. And that really touched me.
Yes. Basically, I was just trying to teach him everything that I learned on my journey, as far as playing sports collegiately and my short stint of dealing with professionally. I just pretty much tried to pass all the knowledge I could, because he was at the age now to where he was understanding what I was trying to tell him. In the beginning, he was like, "Oh, Dad, you're just harping, da 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 da," but he was starting to understand it and starting to buy into it. And with him doing it, his younger brother was seeing it and seeing his brother's focus, and it made him focus. And he trained out this whole summer. He trained because he was like, "Dad, come December, I'm not gonna be at Southwest anyway. I'm gonna be somewhere else and doing this." And I would tell him, "Son, slow down." I said, "But in the meantime, I just need you to continue to work, continue to get better, and everything else I'll take care of as far as the business side. I just need you to focus on getting better and taking one thing at a time." Because he was like, "I'm gonna get this, I'm gonna take care of y'all." And like when it's my, we're okay. Just make sure you're okay. And to get to where you want to be, you gotta take baby steps. I said, "You're almost there, but you still got a lot more to go." And like I said, he was buying into it and really focusing it. I had him seriously focused on. He was laser focused on what his mission was.
Ben, I think you've heard me give this speech before, because we were at something that honored you, and I think I talked about how young people, you would get interns. I have interns now, and they want to know how to make it as a strong Black man, a strong woman, or a strong gay person, or whatever. And I said, don't worry about that. Let the old heads worry about it. You worry about being excellent. And that's what you were teaching him, just to be excellent, so that he could focus on, what was important, so that he could achieve those dreams that he had.
Yes.
That's what you were doing.
Yeah. And it looks like he was really following your blueprint, Elmore.
Do you want to say any more, Elmore?
Nolan, and I've said this several times, but I'm gonna continue to say it till the cows come. Nolan was a people's person. Everyone gravitated to him. When he stepped into a room, his aura, if you believe in those type of things, people gravitated to that. He was great with kids, and we used to always tell him, son, you might want to work with kids because you're so patient with them. And it's weird because he wasn't patient with his little brother. But
well, you know, come on now. We all ain't perfect now.
but he just so patient and kind. And I would have people come up to me and be like, "Is Nolan your son?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Man, I really appreciate it, man. He really helped my son train and help him with basketball. He didn't have to do that, and it really helped my son, you know, be a better person and love the game." So he was loved by not just kids his age, but adults as well.
Yeah. Miss Christine, I saw someone on social media who was talking about you, her name Suzanne Lambert. I don't know if you know who Suzanne Lambert is. And she said that you followed her. And I said, well, wait a minute, let me check. And she was the impetus. And I went back and I checked and I'm like, oh my gosh, Miss Christine follows me as well. And I reached out to you on social media and you responded back. I don't know if it was because of Ben or whatever, but you just mentioned Mr. Elmore did the aura. And if you don't mind, I'll just, one of the texts that I said to you, I said, hi, Miss Wansley. I am so pleasantly surprised that you responded. Thank you so much. I am honored. I can't tell you how sorry I am that you are going through this. I can tell just by the photos, the beautiful spirit Nolan had, smart, athletic, handsome, and alluring spirit, what the kids call aura.
Oh.
And Riz.
The Riz.
and I said, please take care of yourself. He did. And I was just, you have such a warm spirit as well. My question is though, so I'm going to be honest and direct. Do you think that these people he was with, you think they were really his friends? Do you think there was some jealousy there? Anything like that?
You know, that's something I can't answer. The only thing I can say is
I'm only asking because of the argument part. I should have put that in there. I'm sorry. Yeah.
You know, with any friendship, you know, different feelings occur.
Of course.
But what matters is how do you react to those feelings? What do you do if you are experiencing those feelings, you know? So that's kind of a hard question to answer. I would hope, again, you know, those that he called like his best friends, I would hope that they were just as loving and supportive of him as he was to them, because I know my son, he didn't even really have to know you, and he would support you in some kind.
Okay, we're going to come back to this. I want to switch to a former judge that's from Mississippi. He lives in Georgia, okay? So he's going to talk about the case. I think this is the one right here.
Mississippi, whose body would be found washed ashore after his friends allegedly would leave him on a remote island.
He's going to break down what he would have done.
Is now speaking up and highlighting some key issues he sees with the case. According to former judge, now attorney Carlos Moore, who served in a municipal court in Mississippi for a little over 6 years, someone should have been arrested by now for several different reasons. Moore, who would end up being pushed from the bench after previously speaking.
Hold up, let's find the real video of this guy. Hold on a second. I got it in history. I watched him, and hold on one second. I don't want somebody to narrate. I want him to come on. He spoke on it his damn self, and I don't know why I was doing all this dumb stuff. I history about. I don't care about the march bullshit. You see, this Willie D. I think this in there. A lot of stuff. Okay, I think this is it right here.
Reporting live from Ibis Club, Fight Plus News, I'm John Abba. Following the latest surrounding the mysterious death of Nolan Wells, a black teen.
I've worn the robe, the black robe, and I've presided over these trials or preliminary hearings, arraignments, and initial appearances.
Where is that? He broke down everything. Hold on a second.
Let's get started. So what do we know? We know after watching the parents' interview and reviewing tons of footage from social media, recounting interviews and statements of alleged witnesses that were on Horn Island, we know that Nolan Wells went to spend the night on July the 3rd with his so-called friends. And he went with those so-called friends to Horn Island on a boat on July the 4th. We know that out of the 4 people on that boat, 1 did not return home. That 1 person was Nolan Wells. The other 3 returned home as normal and said nothing to any member of law enforcement or to the Coast Guard until at least 11 p.m. at night on July the 4th. We know that at least 1 of the so-called friends was found with the phone.
You guys, please like the live, share it so that I can I'm building a new community on here. I'm leaving TikTok and I'm now streaming. If you don't mind, I know you're in here. It's like almost 300 people watching from all platforms. If you don't mind, can you please like, share what we're doing? Thank you.
Of Nolan Wells. And we know this based on the testimony of the parents, specifically the mother, who tracked the phone and was led to the home of one of the young men where she retrieved the phone. We also know that based on the mother's testimony that there were no Snapchats from the day, which was very odd for her son. We also know that text messages were deleted. We know that when she was tracking the phone, Life 360 said the phone was one place and Snapchat said it was another place. We know that the boy that had the phone did not voluntarily turn it over or call first. He had to be found through their own investigation. We know that based on witnesses' account, the so-called friends were seen on July the 5th, that Sunday, having breakfast together like nothing had happened. They were not out there searching for their so-called friend. We know that the so-called friends deleted their social media, deactivated their accounts, and scrubbed it clean if the allegations are correct. We know that the young man that had the car at his house did not willingly turn over the keys. At first, he said that he did not have the keys. He didn't know where they were. Then after being pressed by the father, he finally turned over the keys. This is all very suspicious activity. We know that based on an audio recording and some video that Nolan Wells can be heard saying, "Give me my freaking keys." Excuse me, "Give me my freaking phone." And there's been 2 different versions. Some say he said, "Give me my freaking phone," or some say he said, "Give me my MF phone." Regardless, he was asking or demanding his phone. Someone had his phone who did not have permission to have his phone. So the first thing I see, the simplest thing I see, is who had his phone and why? And was that theft of the phone? Sometimes we look at the largest case, we try to get to murder, But the person that took his phone committed a crime right there. There are witnesses to who took that phone. If an affidavit is signed, an arrest warrant could be signed by a judge in Mississippi to go after that person that had that phone unlawfully. We know, based on his own words, Nolan Wells' words while he was alive, he did not give whoever had that phone permission to have that phone. So was that theft? I think if an affidavit is signed, if it was presented to me when I was a judge, I would have signed an arrest warrant for the person for theft of that phone, based on what I've heard. It'd have to be an affidavit format, but if it was presented to me, an affidavit format from law enforcement, I would sign the arrest warrant for, at least at this point, theft of the man's phone. We know who had it. We know who didn't report it to the family. The family had to go find it. And we know that Nolan Wells said, give it back to him. And evidently it was not given back to him. Why was that? All of the other things I've stated, you piece it together. Is there enough right now for arrest warrants for murder? That is a good question. I do know at this point, there should have been search warrants signed by a judge. Evidence should have been presented to a judge by now. We are nearly 7 days after July the 4th, when he was first reported missing. There should have been evidence submitted by Jackson County law enforcement agents, the sheriff's department specifically, presented to a judge so that search warrants could be signed by the judge. And there needs to be, or should have been, someone questioning the young men, the three so-called friends, and others, and the social media accounts need to be searched by now, or at least a search warrant should have been issued for the appropriate entities to give the law enforcement access to the social media information. That should have been done by now. I'm not telling you what I imagine. I'm telling you what the process usually is when you're trying to do a thorough investigation. And based on what's revealed from a thorough investigation, I do believe once the evidence is secured, it's going to lead, and it should lead, to the arrest of one or more individuals for the murder of Nolan Wells. All of the actions are very suspicious, and right now they lead one to believe that one or more persons could have been involved with the death of Nolan Wells. Right now, we have a lot of unsworn testimony, but once that is put into affidavit format and there is corroborating evidence through social media, computers, or otherwise, I believe that at that point, there will be enough evidence for a judge to sign an arrest warrant. I think critical evidence that's missing right now are the results of the autopsy, the state's autopsy and the independent autopsy. That's going to be critical information. And that alone, or that in connection with what's already known, may be enough to lead to an arrest or arrest. We do know at this point, low-hanging fruit. There should be an investigation about the underage drinking, who provided the alcohol. Those individuals could be immediately arrested based on If there was any sworn testimony presented to a judge, I believe a judge could immediately sign an arrest warrant for those who provided alcohol to underage individuals. There's a lot of people and a lot of potential crimes, some misdemeanors and felonies, that people could be held accountable for. Was there any boating while intoxicated? Who was the captain of the boat? And what did he allow on his boat? If there were any illegal drugs possessed by anyone, drugs are still illegal in Mississippi, at least they were when I was on the bench. Drug possession, drug use, selling of drugs, dealing drugs, trafficking drugs. We've heard testimony, or allegations at least. I don't think anything's been put in affidavit format yet, about rampant drug use among certain individuals. So there are a lot of things that's been alleged. Once put into the correct format, affidavit-wise, it could lead to arrests for several things, including misdemeanors and maybe even felonies. So there's a lot left to do. We are not rushing to judgment, but I just thought I would come on here and tell you that there definitely should be search warrants issued by now, and there could be arrest warrants for certain crimes issued by now. But for the ultimate crime of murder, it is probably wise to wait to see what the autopsy reveals, or the both autopsies reveal, and then parse that together with all the video footage, all the witness statements taken, any affidavits gathered, and then make a decision, get it all to a judge at that point, for a judge to decide whether or not to sign a warrant for the arrest of one or more individuals. It would be very interesting to see what the autopsy shows. There's also the potential for kidnapping. It needs to be looked at whether or not they can get to murder. Was there kidnapping? Was this young man taken somewhere against his will at any point? Was there abuse of a corpse even after he died? So there's a lot of things that need to be looked at from various law enforcement perspectives. Law enforcement has to do their job and get the information to a judge in the right format before a judge can act. Had I still been on the bench, if I wanted to act, I could not act unilaterally. I would have to wait till law enforcement brought me the evidence in the right format before I could sign an arrest warrant, before I could sign a search warrant. So that's how the process works. That's how the process works. And so I am happy to be a retired judge. I'm always going to shoot it to you straight with no chaser. Straight with no chaser. I will tell you the God honest truth. I can tell you this one thing. I may have been born at night, but I was not born last night. And one thing about it, you cannot fool the informed. I've been on the inside. I know the process, and we will not sit quietly and allow this to be swept under the rug. I will call your hand. I will call your hand. You are not going to play these people for a fool. You are not going to play these people for a fool. We know the process. We know what you should be doing. And by God, I plan to make sure you do it, or we're going to call you out each and every time. There is a process. What I do know is, had the roles been reversed, by now, there would likely have been already arrests made, it wouldn't have taken all 6 days, 7 days, whatever the amount of days it's going to take. Had the roles been reversed, justice, the wheels of justice spin quickly. Somebody would have been arrested for something by now. But since the roles are what they are, we are expected to be patient, and they're going to cross every T and they're going to dot every I in the investigation before they make a move because of the people that are potentially involved. And that's the way the criminal justice system works, unfortunately. If you have access to power or money, in some instances, if you're the right color or the right hue, you will get the benefit of the doubt. And regardless of all of that, based on what I've heard, not in the affidavits I've seen, if the affidavits come to support what I've heard, I do believe, especially with the autopsy, once that is in, and then if we look at the body to see if there were any bruises or anything else, it should lead to the arrest of one or more individuals for murder, for accessory to murder, for conspiracy to commit murder, aggravated assault, kidnapping, and a list of other possible things. But right now, I could say that based on that video evidence of him demanding his phone back, someone could immediately be arrested for theft, wrongful conversion of his property. And once you make that first arrest, you start putting pressure on people. It becomes very serious at that point. No one wants their loved ones sitting behind bars, even jail bars, definitely not prison bars. So it becomes very serious at that point. And there are persons of interest that should have been interviewed by now, should have been questioned, picked up, and taken to the station, even if they didn't voluntarily go. There are certain people that should be classified as suspects by now. They should not just be persons of interest. They should be actual suspects. I do not agree with the sheriff saying right now foul play is not suspected. He should have said right now it is too early to tell one way or the other if he was going to say anything and try to be fair and impartial. Because all of this suspicious stuff, the suspicion and the actions of the individuals themselves lead you to believe that something is awry. And the stories are not adding up. The stories are not adding up. So if you believed that he stayed with a young lady, why were you calling the Coast Guard at 11 p.m. at night on July the 4th? And why did the Coast Guard somehow forget that and then remember it? And it's just very strange. And why would you lawyer up before there is even a body found? If my best friend died by drowning accidentally, the last thing I'm going to be doing is hiring a lawyer. I'm going to be too busy grieving my friend's accidental death. And I would not, in my wildest imagination, ever think that anyone would suspect me of a crime. Accidents happen all of the time. All of the time. And one thing about it, if I had been there when he drowned, I would probably have been so exhausted from trying to save him that I wouldn't have time to think about hiring a lawyer or time for my parents to think about hiring a lawyer. And if I am recalling things correctly, I do believe that one of those young people's parents went out to the island. Now, this is a bunch of young folks. I believe one of the mothers got on Facebook and said she went to the island at some point. Why was she there? What was she doing? she was not in their age group. I don't know too many parents that go to a teenage gathering or a young person's gathering. What was she doing? I'm curious to know. I'm not even on the bench anymore, but I'm very curious to know what she was out there doing and who she may have been coaching, or what she may have been an accessory to. It's very odd that she was out there, because I'm sure she was not on the guest list. When I tell you I'm tired, it's because I am. It's time for us to have the knowledge. I got my law degree in 2002. So you're looking at somebody that has nearly a quarter of a century of experience in the legal realm. I spent 6.5 years on the bench. I am not going to mislead you, because too many of us have gone along to get along for too long. I have to meet my makers face in peace. I have to look myself in the mirror. I'm not going to betray you. Enough is enough is enough. I know no one wants to see their loved one go to prison or be held accountable. But if the shoe fits, you might as well get ready to wear it. No one is above the law. And if you can't do your job because you're friends with certain people, you need to recuse yourself. Recuse yourself and let somebody that can do their job correctly do it. I'm happy to answer any questions that anyone may have about the process or anything I just said. There is a criminal justice process, and I know how things should go. And when they don't go as they should, you have to ask yourself why. Again, I'm Judge Carlos Moore. I've been coming to you live from Atlanta, Georgia. I've been living here now nearly 3 years, but Mississippi is home. The Gulf Coast is home. I know several members of the Wells family and the Wansley family, and again, they have my deepest condolences for their loss. It's tragic. Tragic folks that you trusted your loved one to spend time with. Left an island without having the decency to account for your son. That's sad. I can't imagine the level of pain. And I've heard some people say that the Department of Justice, Civil Rights Division should come in and investigate, or the FBI, MBI, who actually has jurisdiction to do this. Those are good questions. We may need more assistance besides the local law enforcement to get down to the bottom of this. If there's anyone that's truly willing to live up to the oath they took, they swore as a law enforcement officer, as a judge, if you're willing to live up to that oath and be unbiased and do a true investigation and consider the facts fairly, please step up. And if you can't do the job fairly, please step aside. This is too serious. You have too many educated people watching this case now, and we're not going to let you get away with murder, potentially with no one being held accountable. We're not going to do it. Whoever did something untoward needs to be held accountable, needs to go before a jury of their peers, and need to let that jury of their peers decide their guilt or innocence. The standards for an arrest warrant is simple, probable cause to believe a crime has been committed. The judge has to have probable cause, more likely than not, that a crime has been committed for an arrest warrant to be signed. It's not beyond a reasonable doubt. It's probable cause, more likely than not. That's a very low burden to meet. And the evidence needs to get to a judge pretty soon. We know that won't be the end all just because there will be an arrest. At some point, I do believe it's still going to be a long process. The local judge, the municipal judge, as I was, will have to do the arraignment and decide whether or not the individual or individuals get bail and what that bail amount will be. If it's a capital offense or if it's a first degree murder charge or manslaughter charge or whatever it may be, kidnapping, aggravated assault, that the judge will have to set bail or decide or deny it. Will the persons be flight risk? All that has to be taken into consideration. From there, there will be a preliminary hearing likely where the evidence will be presented to that local judge who will get to decide whether or not to bind it over to a grand jury or dismiss the charge. Once it's bound over to a grand jury, it'll be up to the grand jury to decide what to actually indict the individuals for. And then once there is an indictment or indictments are secured, individuals will have to stand trial or if they plead not guilty, they get to stand trial. Otherwise, if they plead guilty, it could go immediately to sentencing. You would expect, based on what I've seen so far, that there won't be any guilty pleas automatically, and this probably will go to trial. You have contradicting stories. You have Katie that's saying one thing. You have the young man that's saying another. I see Katie has not lawyered up, from what I have been told, and she's been speaking freely, and her family has been speaking freely. Whereas I understand that some others have decided not to speak to the press and have lawyered up. And people are entitled in this country. You are innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. There's nothing wrong with lawyering up. In fact, if it was my family, I would advise my family to remain quiet too. That's what lawyers do. We advise them to remain quiet. They have a right to remain quiet. And a lot of times you remain quiet for good reason, because anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. But people also have a right to be suspicious of why individuals lawyered up so fast. Why are they not talking? This is serious. It's serious business. People's potential freedom are on the line, and somebody has lost their life. Someone has lost their life. At least the people that's alive still have a fighting chance. You never know what a jury in Mississippi will do. We do know that no one ever was held accountable for Emmett Till's murder, despite the evidence, the overwhelming evidence. No one was ever held accountable. I can only hope and pray that in 2026, 2027, should the facts be presented to a jury of peers, that it'll be given reasonable consideration, and that if the facts are proven beyond a reasonable doubt, that the individuals that may soon be arrested and tried for the death, for their role in the death of Nolan Wells, will be held accountable. That's all we can hope and pray for, and we will have to live with whatever the jury's verdict is, because in this country, if you go through the entire process, we live with the verdict of the jury. It has to be a unanimous verdict, and they get to decide guilt or an acquittal. And if they cannot agree, it's a hung jury, and the prosecution gets to decide if they try the case again. They can continue to try it again until they get a unanimous decision one way or the other. So it's gonna be a long road ahead. Keep on permission to have.
Well. Patrick, go. I don't know what's wrong with these folks. People just go and say the dumbest shit. He got what he deserved. Oh, he did? Okay. You might not wake up in the morning. Who cares with a black? He said he had spent another birthday. He's gone. Who are you talking about? There's somebody with a just dumb people. Just dumb. Anyway, okay. You guys, I'm finna get off here. Oh no, I'm not. No, I'm not. Let's go and see, because let me see. There's another video I wanted to see before I get off here. But you guys, straight up, if that picture is legit, which there's no reason for it not to be, some people are scrambling right now. I tell you that they're definitely scrambling. I think this one I'm
by the appeals team this week. And
my biggest question is, you guys, if that picture is legit, they really screwed up. And there's nothing, it's no way you can just pretend anymore. They said someone beat him. That's alleged right now, right? You need dental records. Why you need dental records? You know what I mean? Unless he's only in the water one day. Like, how you can identify? I don't know. Like, I'm confused. Whatever happened to him, all of them know. The parents know. They ought to be ashamed of themselves. You know what I mean? That's all I can say. You know. These people is crazy. That's all I can say. I have no words, because I heard the father's voice, and when he said that he have his moments. You don't understand what that means. He has to be strong for his wife and kids, and whew, Lord have mercy.
And we wanted to touch on some of the key points of this appeal and where it's at right now. One of the most important things, just jumping right into the appeal, is that they asked for Judge Roach to recuse himself, and he has since denied recusing himself. So now Judge Roach has sent this to an independent judge for the independent judge to decide whether or not he should be recused. I find that quite interesting that he didn't recuse himself, given the statements that he made to the media right after the trial, that he thought, all his rulings were correct, and he thought Carmelo Anthony was guilty and the jury got it right. Well, Judge Roach, you do understand that he gave that interview maybe 2 days after trial, but Judge Roach, you do understand, based on the Code of Criminal Procedure, Carmelo Anthony has 75 days to ask for a motion for new trial, and that motion for new trial will go before you. So why would you be making statements into the media about your personal opinion on this trial when there's still work to be done on this case? What you think about that, YD?
I think that his statements to the media after is indicative of a lot of things. I think that it's indicative. Oh, there you are. I think it's indicative of the fact that, he think this shit over with. You know what I'm saying? Like, why would you get on her and say something? Why would you get on her and choose a side when you could possibly have a motion for new trial before you, and that requires you to be impartial. So here you are after the trial. I'm talking about right after the trial. Almost like, you was jumping to get this done, You write thank you letters and all kind of shit, man. That shit is just, it's off-putting, man. If I could just find an adjective to use, it is off-putting. What the fuck you think you're going to do when this motion for new trial comes before you and you done already said on national news that you believe everything you did was right? When the motion for new trial is pretty much saying that you was wrong. You see what I'm saying? You're not going to
Right.
admit to that. The same way I told you people that he wasn't going to voluntarily recuse himself. You're
Right.
not going to do that. A person that doesn't take any responsibility or accountability is not going to remove himself from that situation. That situation where he gets to use his power. You see what I'm saying? To get a result that he deems proper. He said he thought he was guilty. I ain't never heard a judge say that shit before. I done heard a
Never.
judge say, you know, I really ain't like that testimony too much. I've heard a judge say, I really liked her. I've heard that, but I haven't heard a judge just right after a trial come out and say, I was right about everything I did. I mean, really think about it. Like, let's take this
Think
shit away
about
from the court. Let's take this shit away from the courthouse. Let's just go in the world. You know what I'm saying? In the world, you are required to, if you're wrong, you're wrong. If you're right, you're right. You see what I'm saying? And if you're wrong, you take accountability. It's simple as that. You know what I'm saying? And somebody that gets up and says, I think everything I did was right, when you ain't, so you think not letting no media in was right? You think, not finding a way to honor that agreement that was made between the state and the defense on the record was right? Like, come on, man. It's a lot of shit, man, that's kind of, it seemed like a lot of steps were taken. Just like the file's still under seal. Why is it still under seal?
Right.
It's just so many
Right.
steps taken to keep the public from knowing what's really going on. You see what I'm
And
saying?
you know what, YD? Checks and balances is a part of our systems, right? It's a part of our judicial
Government,
system.
highest level of government.
It's a part of our judicial system. The trial court is always checked by the appellate court. So it's not even your decision. It's not your opinion.
It's out of your hands. It's out of your hands.
Judge wrote whether or not you made the right rulings or not.
Right.
I mean,
It ain't up to you if you made the right rulings or not.
It's not up to him. It's up to the appellate courts. It's almost like he was hedging his bet. But this whole time,
For sure.
public, to our people that follow us and been following us throughout this trial, this whole time, we originally thought that Mike Howard was the one dropping the ball here. Now, and I agree, Mike Howard did drop the ball to some extent. But after reading Mike Howard's affidavit in that motion for new trial, now I know that the judge was thwarting everything that the defense tried to do. So it's not like Mike Howard didn't try. Mike Howard tried, and I ain't making no excuse for Mike Howard. I still think he fucked up in the case, and I'm gonna get to that. But what it sounds like Mike Howard is saying is that, hey, I had the epilepsy thing ready to go. I had the psychiatrist ready to go. I had the witnesses about the cheerleaders ready to go. And the judge didn't let nothing in. He's just like he shot everything down. But you know what? The biggest mistake I think Mike Howard made in his affidavit that he wrote, we don't never agree to anything with the state. Why would you stipulate to the state? See, that's that buddy shit that Mike Howard wrote about in his emails. That's that shit coming back to bite you and your client in your ass. You thought these was your friends. Look, Bill Worth tricked you, Mike Howard. He duped you and tricked you. Why would you agree not to go into the character of the victims when you need that to play up why they was the aggressors and why Carmelo needed to defend himself that day? This is why me and Drew don't agree to anything when we go to trial. And that's why we're successful when they call us not guilty for us. Why would we agree to that? Just why? Just think about it. I'm trying to prove you the aggressor, but I'm not going to go into anything about you being a bully. Hell no. And then on top of that, it sounds like Bill Worth not only tricked Mike Howard, but he punked him too. Because why is he standing over your shoulder, Mike Howard, going question by question, or each question you intend
Man,
to ask Carmelo Anthony?
bro.
Look, I would have threw a
that,
strong elbow, and that bailiff probably would have been coming. Look, Bill, back up, bro. What you doing, bro?
Fam,
it's
we
not
don't
my
even
duty to give you my questions.
Yes. My bad, bro. Go ahead.
That's like he asked the defense, let me see your playbook before the game started. And Mike Howard showed his playbook. And it allowed him to make all the objections. He went, Bill Worth tried to pinpoint. You can ask this question. Now you can't ask that question. Open the door. This is why you gotta try cases zealously and aggressively. I'm finna pass it to you. Because we're not worried about opening no damn door. The facts that happened under the tent is what happened under the tent. Anything that happened prior or after, That's collateral. But we're not worried about that and what happened under the tent because we know we will defend ourselves. So we're not worried about opening the door to anything. We gonna open the door to the Metcalfs as well. And so it's gonna be 2 doors open, and we going through both of them. Head up. What you think, Wadi?
Furious about that shit, bro. I ain't gonna lie. It's 30 prongs, and I made it to like number 17, bro, and I chilled. I'll probably read the rest when I'm on the plane, fam. But number one, let me piggyback off something you said. First and foremost, bro. First and foremost, God is my witness. Strike me down if I'm lying, bro. I don't even give a prosecutor the job that can come over there looking at my shit, bro. What is it? What is that, bro? Like a prosecutor not even finna approach me on that because they know, man. I'm gonna look at them like they got some shit on their face. You see what I'm saying? Like, bro, okay, let's break this shit all the way down. This shit got layers to it, right? Okay, first and foremost, why the fuck would you make an agreement with a prosecutor in the first place? That's first of all. Now, under one of my posts, and then you call it a gentleman's agreement. A gentleman's agreement is for honorable people. That's what I'll make a gentleman's agreement with Mike. I'll make a gentleman's agreement with my daddy. I'll make a gentleman's agreement, I don't know, somebody trustworthy, bro. Somebody on my side. The DA and the state not on the same side. That's number one. Number two. Well, let me tell you what making an agreement, period, is indicative of to me, though. Before I go into the layers, making an agreement is indicative of the fact that you are so fucking scared of the facts of this case, or you are so scared of whatever aggravating evidence they got on your client that you was willing to risk him getting 35. You was willing to risk. Let me tell you something. You face shit and you overcome shit. And
right.
I don't believe that there was anything valuable to the state or that effective on the defense to where he had to just agree not to bring nothing in. That is some, man, look, that's some pussy shit, bro. I just gotta call a spade, bro, because I'm mad about it, bro. I'm mad about it. See, you really sold that man up the road. So you wouldn't have to face no bad evidence in that courtroom. Bruh, you face that shit, you overcome that shit, you let your client explain that shit. I don't care what was in that cell phone. Unless it was him saying, whenever the Metcalf boys walk up to me tomorrow, I'm gonna stab one of them in the chest.
Come on now, premeditation. It wasn't no premeditation.
If it wasn't that, if it wasn't a clear showing of premeditation, bro, bring them out, nigga. Call T.I. and Jay-Z. Bring them out, nigga. Bring all the evidence out. You lay your shit on the table, and I'm going to have my client explain it, and then I'm going to put my shit on the table, and let's see if the Metcalf boy can explain it. Let's see. You see what I'm saying?
And here's another. Go ahead, my bad, buddy.
But hold on, one more thing, Mike. Tell me if you agree. It's one thing. Okay, so the affidavit said that not only did Mike Howard agree not to go into any character evidence, but he agreed not to bring any testimony about the epilepsy, and he agreed not to call that expert on fight or flight. Now, here's my point. It's one thing for us to trade apples for apples or oranges for oranges, okay? But evidence of him having epilepsy is not fucking character evidence, bro. It shouldn't even been in a conversation. Evidence of fight or flight, you could argue that to be character evidence, but the epileptic shit is not character evidence. And I think the affidavit said that the judge even agreed with that the epileptic shit wasn't character evidence. So why you ain't get into it? He dropped the ball, bro. He dropped the ball. And what's the most heartbreaking shit for me is I hope this shit appealable on the argument, on the fact that he relied on that shit, because it's kind of a subjective argument. You know what I'm saying?
Let me take my glasses off for this one, because I need the people to see me and feel me on this one. I take my glasses off.
Bro, they picked that nigga. They picked Mike Howard up by his ankles and shook his lunch change out. That's what they did to that nigga, man.
And you know what? Bill just kept pushing. By the point he's standing over Mike Howard's shoulder in the hallway during trial, reading his Mike Howard's questions, Bill had already knew he had him. I already got you to agree to the agreement. You did that. That agreement was not in writing. It's nothing to enforce. But here's the thing, Mike Howard. Let me make this small tangent on this point about the agreement. How far are you willing to take, Mike Howard? How far are you willing to take it? Because as attorneys, through the rules of professional conduct, we have a duty to be truthful to each other. And if you're saying that he was untruthful to you, that is a grievance that you could file with the state bar. It should be on record, Mike Howard. How far are you willing to take it?
He ain't doing that shit. He ain't doing that
That's
shit.
what I'm saying. That's
He
where
ain't
that
doing
buddy
that
shit backfired. So I don't want to hear that buddy shit. To all my potential clients who think that you get a better deal by going to hire a white attorney, that's what you got to deal with. A grievance being made when you're not there. I'm going to say that again for the black community. For you thinking that you got a better shot by getting a Jewish attorney, a white attorney, they are making deals behind closed doors, behind your back, and you don't even know it. Like Rick Ross say, you don't even know it.
Come on,
and
bro.
Guess what? You think just because he got the skin color to match the majority of the skin color, he doing you something. What he doing? He's selling you up the river, just like Mike Howard did. So how far are you willing to take it, Mike Howard? That bar complaint is online. That you are accusing him of being unethical. File a grievance, Mike Howard.
And now I know he was unprepared too, because if he detrimentally relied on that agreement, which by the way we ain't even talked about this part. The prosecutor duped that nigga and said he didn't think that I almost said Trayvon, that he didn't think Carmelo's testimony was included in the deal. The prosecutor almost
he didn't
approached this
calculate
shit.
that he was gonna testify.
He approached this shit like, what the, I don't give a fuck about your calculations, nigga. You made the wrong calculation.
It's my right. It's my
That's
right.
what I'm saying.
It don't matter what you calculate.
He approached it like he didn't have a constitutional right to testify.
Come on now. What are we doing?
Yeah. Mike Howard got duped, bro. He got duped. And that's how you gonna see how far he willing to take it. You right, Mike. If he don't file no grievance on him, bro, this shit ain't worth nothing, bro. That shit ain't worth it. It really still ain't worth nothing, honestly. This some after the fact.
The sad part about it is it appealable? I don't know if the fact you got duped.
I don't know, bro.
I don't know that. I don't know if the fact that he went against the agreement, gentleman agreement y'all had, is a appealable issue. I don't think that is.
What the fuck is a gentleman's agreement in court, bro? No, my nigga, you get that shit in writing, you get it before the judge, and you get it on record, bro. Ain't no, like, what the fuck is this, bro? That's what I'm saying. Like, you know, and it goes back to not hiring a black attorney. Hire whoever gonna help you the most. But you went and thought you had you a good old boy, and you did. You had a good old boy that sold him right on up the road. Because look, if he was actually prepared and had his client ready to testify no matter what, it wouldn't have mattered if that gentleman's agreement went out the door. He'd have been ready. He'd have been ready.
The thing about that agreement, I heard the judge say this. I don't have no way to enforce that agreement. And even though nobody may like it, the judge may be right. But how does he enforce that agreement?
He could have put it on the record.
That's why it needs to be in writing. That's why it needs to be
on the record. Call the court reporter in. All the people got them nice ass offices in the back. Call them in. Say what the agreement is. Say that both sides agree, and be done with it. Bro, gentleman's agreement and a nigga life on the line. That's how you know, bro.
It's two ways. It's two ways you could have locked it in. You lock it in a motion to eliminate, right? Agree, motion to eliminate. You lock it in at a stipulation of evidence. That's how you lock it in. But Mike, you just don't trust Bill because you have cocktails with him every other Friday at the golf course. You can't trust Bill. Bill knew that you was soft.
That motherfucker look shaky. He look untrustworthy, bro.
Look, Bill knew that Mike was soft and he sucked his teeth in. Why I'm showing you my questions for my client? I don't have a duty to do that.
Fam, I'm not even telling you if my client, we're not even discussing if my client testifying. I don't know yet. Fuck you talking about? We're not finna have a whole meeting in chambers, you know, so you can thwart what the fuck I'm trying to do. Like, come on, bro. And if you prepared, see, that's why I don't never feel like the state can stop what I got coming anyway. Because I'll be prepared for everything. I got, you know, you draw a fork in the road. You get to a fork in the road. What you gonna do if this goes left? What you gonna do if this goes right? If you get to go straight, then just keep going straight. Okay, they object right here. What you gonna do? Okay, they come out with this evidence. What you gonna do? You gonna question this person about it, or you gonna tell them no further questions and not even let them go deeper into it? What you gonna do to put that fire out? All you gotta do is put the fire out and keep it moving, man. And that, bro, he had to be like a deer in headlights, bro. And honestly, fam, I think with the missing piece to the puzzle, what was the evidence, bro?
Come on,
What was the
it?
evidence that you were scared of that was gonna come out where you thought it wasn't worth him telling his story under that tent? You thought it wasn't worth him explaining his statements to the police? You thought it wasn't worth him taking the stand at all? What the fuck was it, Mike Howard? What was it, bro?
Yeah, and I'm sorry, I got a lot of moving parts over here. Like I said, we're on vacation, we're at the pool. But anyway, people, yeah, Mike Howard fell for the okie doke. Bill got over, and the judge assisted in that. I mean, it ain't the judge's duty to say, well, Bill, you told Mike you was gonna not do that, so you can't do that. No, Mike, as an attorney, you gotta object when it's time to object, and you gotta present your evidence and not be afraid of whatever the DA may have over there. And your fear it cost Carmelo. So again, how far are you willing to take it? Or are you gonna file that grievance since he was unethical per your own signed affidavit submitted in his motion for new trial? You know, and it's another thing I want to say about this. Two things, Drew. Two more things. Number one, we was all screaming ineffective assistance of counsel, but I don't see that nowhere in the motion for new trial. So I have to sit there and think to myself, why wouldn't they file ineffective assistance of counsel? But then I saw Mike Howard's affidavit. Okay, so maybe the appeals
They got him to help.
Thought it was more valuable for him to be on our side than to point the finger at him right now.
It was because they never would have. They never would have knew about the agreement. They never would have knew about that.
They never would have known.
So they made the right decision on that.
It is very normal and very typical for a trial attorney to work with the appeals attorney in the appellate case. We've done that ourselves as trial attorneys on a couple of appeals. We work with the appellate attorneys all the way through the decisions. So that's a year, 2 years down the road. We still working with the appeals lawyer, assisting with the appeal. So maybe the appeals team thought that Mike Howard would be more valuable as an asset than as a foe. You know, and we can't do nothing but respect the experts on that because they have the experience in doing these appeals, and I trust Russ and his team that they know what they're doing. But secondly, one of the other appeal issues that they raised was Carmelo's Sixth Amendment right to a public trial and how the judge denied access to the general public, the media, to cameras. And I like in the motion how they pointed out other high-profile cases like Amber Geiger and other cases where the judge allowed it. The judge only opened the court for 10 minutes a day from 8:30 to 8:40 to the public, and then everything was shut down. It's 72 seats in the courtroom. He only gave 27 available seats. Nobody can access the records online. He has it sealed behind his desk in his chambers. Just the way that the judge handled to publicity, that may be a good appealable issue. Every person, every defendant has a right to a public trial. The reason you want the public to be there because you want to make sure these people are being fair. And the more that things are done sealed and behind closed door, the more likely that things are not being done fairly. What you think about that, y'all?
Well, let me address something before I go into that. Somebody put under our post, I think, like, oh, so you ain't never stipulated to nothing in 13 years? Let me tell y'all something, bro. You don't make a fucking agreement with a prosecutor. Let me tell you something first. 13 years. I've never not made an agreement with a prosecutor and it hurt me. That's never happened. The DA's never said, Mr. Wilkerson, will you agree to this? And I say, no, I'm not agreeing to nothing. You ask Mike. I tell him vehemently, like, nah, we're not doing that. That's never hurt my client's case, ever, across the board, ever. But understand, you stipulate to shit on your own terms. Like I told y'all, usually we are arguing self-defense. So stuff that I stipulate to is, oh, Judge, yeah, that was the weapon that was used. Oh, yeah, my client's fingerprints are on that weapon. Yeah, my client was there on the scene that day because we're claiming self-defense. We can't say he wasn't there. See, you stipulate to obvious shit. That's what you stipulate to. Either for the sake of timeliness or just to, or strategically. See, I do shit like, I tell the state I'm not finna stipulate to this being a weapon that was used. And then right before when they call a witness for their first question, I stand up and I stipulate. Because what that does is, tactically, that shows the jury, we not scared of this evidence. And it shows the jury that the state is wasting your time. And it shows the jury that this don't prove shit. The fact that my client's fingerprints are on the gun don't prove that he premeditated, that this was premeditated and not self-defense. So I just want to tell people that you use the stipulation shit, strategically to benefit your client, not before the trial even start. I ain't heard of that shit before, man. I haven't heard of that shit before. That's almost like the gym. Well, like I took my kids to this place the other day for my nephew's birthday. And you come in there, they have you sign a waiver, right? So basically, you agreeing not to sue these people no matter what happened in this home. Now, first of all, them waivers, people don't even know. Them waivers don't stand for shit. They don't stop nobody from being sued. They just make you think you can't sue them. But you could sign a waiver and sue somebody right after that if they shit defective. But that's what I'm saying. It's almost like agreeing to, you don't know what's going to happen in trial. You don't know what's going to come out. And it's always, Mike, you know this to be true. It's always a ram in the bush. It's one that we find before trial, and it's one that we discover in trial. Always. You see what I'm saying? But as far as the opening stuff to the public, bro, that's just some most sneaky shit they did, bro. Like transparency, is it just like the truth? You never get half the truth and it's still the truth. You can't have half the truth and call it the truth. You can't be half transparent and call yourself transparent. You can't. Either you are or you ain't. You got some that will and some that won't. Some like Pepsi, some like Coke. You're saying late grade UGK. You understand what I'm saying? It is or it ain't. You know what I'm saying? You can't be hiding shit and call yourself transparent. So, it was just a lack of transparency with this shit. You know what I'm saying? But I think another thing was with that argument, Russ said that I think that the judge is required to do something else, like have an overflow room or something, or do something in place of not having a courtroom open. Give the public some avenue of access.
Right.
And he didn't do that, like you said so eloquently. I mean, the first day he shut down the overflow room. The first day. So, I sure hope, that they can get this done, man. But I don't feel no better about the defense attorney's job than I did before I knew this shit, bro. I knew something was funny. I knew something was funny about it. I knew something scared the bejesus out his ass where he didn't even want to call his client. I knew yeah, bro, it's a tough deal, man, and it needs to be looked into in depth. But I do understand the strategy of getting him to help out so you can get all the facts. Because the judge wasn't going to divulge none of that. You see what I'm saying? That they would have went to the grave with that gentleman's agreement.
Right.
Right.
For what I understand, the record's still not available. I think the judge, let's just call it what it is. He thanking everybody after the play was executed. Come on now. He ran the play the exact way he wanted to run it. He didn't want us people looking to see what was going on and calling foul. Come on now. If it's supposed to be a spectator sport, why can't the public come watch the game, Judge? You just the referee. Why is you closing the arena down? We just coming to watch. We fans. Of course we gonna boo when there's a bad call made. Of course we gonna complain and boo. That's how life works. So the only way you will be shutting the court down, not giving access to the public, is because you didn't have no intentions of running a fair game in the first place.
Exactly.
So I think that I'm going to call it what it is. That's why you thanking everybody, because your staff in Collin County helped you execute the secretness of this trial. It's like the Salem witch hunts. What you scared for, Judge? Open the doors. If everything is fair, open the doors. And the whole thing about that Saturday thing, it just shows Judge. Woo. And you want to recuse yourself, Judge Rose?
And then
you won't recuse yourself. Let another judge
letting these judges preside over cases when they finna retire right after, bro. They be showing they ass They be showing
Come
their
on now.
ass.
We learned that the hard way.
Like, why
We
would you
learned
give the
that the
highest
hard way.
profile case in 2026 in Texas to a motherfucker that's packing his shit up?
He don't care. He
And,
can
and,
do
and,
whatever
and
he
let me
want to
tell
do. He
you,
out the door.
let me tell you, I call a spade, bro. That judge not a nice person, bro. I've seen him in action. He done got on to me about my pants before when they suit pants. I'm like, what you want me to do? You know what I'm saying? He didn't, he just he one of them people that gotta talk the loudest in the room. You know what I'm saying? And he seems overly emotional, like he make emotional decisions all the time based on how you feel. I ain't never gravitated towards him or liked him much at all. You know what I'm saying? But I don't need to like a judge to be in a courtroom. That's my thing. But he just, I don't put none of this shit past him is what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? I don't put none of this shit past him.
We'll get some news here soon with the motions for recusal. The motion, we should know something on the motion recused very soon. Maybe this coming week. The motion for new trial after that recusal is heard. That motion for new trial hearing has to happen in 75 days of the verdict, which was June 9th. So y'all do the math on that. We're going to get that hearing pretty soon. So we're going to see how this all plays out. But,
when is he supposed to retire, bro?
I heard December. I don't know how true it is. So I heard he's out by the beginning of January. I also heard
it
some other
seems,
stuff about him.
We'll talk offline and verify it off first.
But I mean, he has been complaining. He does have a public reprimand before, so he's not perfect.
I bet he do.
Why he go look at my disciplinary record. Look at my disciplinary record. You won't see a public reprimand on mine.
Won't see shit. Won't see shit. But anytime you mention us, they gonna act like we the bad boys. You know what I'm saying?
Well, come on,
we got none of that shit.
At this matter.
I guess the point. The point I was making is it could be kind of good because it seems that no matter what, if Carmelo did get a new trial, he wouldn't be the judge over it. That's what it sounds like. Because it ain't going before December.
But this is what I hate about it. If he don't get recused, right, he's the one that has to decide the motion for new trial. Well, we already know what he thinks. He thought the trial went perfect. There's no way. There's no way Carmelo gets the motion for new trial if judge is not recused. So what can we do as a public? And a lot of people inbox, hey, Mr. Campbell, Attorney Campbell, what can we do to help? I say we do two things. I say we do two things. We got to start doing what they'll do to us. We got to complain. You got to file a judicial complaint against the judicial code of, what is it? The judicial board of judicial conduct? The board of judicial conduct. Just Google it. Texas Board of Judicial Conduct. The judge not holding a public fair trial, that's something you can file a judicial complaint about. The prosecutor of the State Bar of Texas has a way you can complain against attorneys. The prosecutors being unethical. Per Mike Howard. First, Mike Howard should be the first one. Him and Toby should be the first ones to file it. But the general public, y'all can file that complaint.
They're not going to file it, bro. They're not going to file it.
File it on their behalf. Because Mike Howard in a side affidavit said that Bill Worse was unethical. So that's what you do when unethical.
All they got to do is attest that affidavit. That's all they got to do.
That's it. The bar to be reaching out to Mike Howard. Ask what he's talking about.
He really ain't going to have to fill out too much. Yeah, all the shit is in the affidavit. So
we just got to stay prayed up for Carmelo. We wanted to tap in and kind of touch bases. We know we kind of, it's all over the place, but it's a lot of moving parts. But we thank y'all for, continuously liking and supporting the Not Guilty Boys. We actually got a trial coming up ourselves here in the fall that has similar circumstances, a white deceased and a black defendant, self-defense in Kern County. So we invite you all.
We're going to win.
We invite you all to come out. We invite the public.
I know y'all watch.
Yeah, y'all can come watch in person. Bring us some coffee. Caramel macchiato, tall, skinny caramel macchiato, tall.
Prayers for the Wells family, man. Also, we're gonna cover that as well. Prayers for the Wells family, man. I mean, but y'all gotta understand the world we live in is revealing itself, and it's been that way the whole time. But the world we live in is truly revealing itself. You know what I'm saying?
They stay playing in our face. Black 18-year-old kid, black kid disappeared with all white. They got his phone.
And ain't nobody been charged. Nobody been
They was
charged.
friends. The cops don't see no signs of a crime. Come on, man. They playing in our face. Prayers for the
It's
Wells
Mississippi
family. I
too.
hope they get.
So it's Mississippi. So they gon'
We pray they get to the bottom and get some real answers for what happened to their son. But we gonna get y'all another show here soon. We check it out. Y'all just continue to stay tuned for what the Not Guilty Boys got coming up. Why do y'all see when we get home?
100. When you get home,
I'll be there tomorrow. I'll see y'all tomorrow.
Bet.
All right, bet.
It's no disguise. It's no disguise. It makes no sense. It doesn't fit. If it doesn't fit, you must acquit.
We need to throw
Yo, you guys. I'm finna get out. Signing off, you guys. Y'all have a great night.